Today on Axe Hacks, we're going to be talking about the Keith McMillen SoftStep 2. So today I have my friend Chris Johnson with me. Now, Chris, you've been playing gigs with the Kemper for a little while now. What have you found in the way of foot controllers?
So, I mean, obviously, the Kemper is a very versatile, powerful tool. It got me able to get all my amps down to one small box, and I think that's part of the whole thing with the Kemper is getting all your expensive amps that might be valuable or very toneful and you don't want to bring with you, and get them into something that you can bring with you easily and record easily all night. But what I started realizing is that there wasn't a really solid foot switch situation. So since I've been playing live, I've had the Kemper in the perform mode and just been basically bumping the manual switches between the songs, and hoping that my rolling down the volume will be clean enough for my clean parts, and when I turn it all the way up and play as hard as I can, it'll be as distorted as I need. And the Kemper is very, dynamic, and it can, do that to some extent. But I was looking for something that I could go from thrash distortion or very heavy metal distortion to clean within a second. Mm-hmm. And I started looking at the foot switches that were available out there, and none of them seemed like they really addressed what I was going for. Something that was small, portable, and very reliable.
Right.
And when you told me about the Keith McMillen SoftStep 2 today, I was really excited because you said it could fit right in my gig bag.
Yep.
And I think for a lot of us who have gotten the Kemper, one of the big things is something that we can bring with us in our gig bag, something that's very strong and reliable, and something that's powerful despite its size and very functional.
For sure.
And I'm looking forward to trying this guy out right here.
Awesome. Well, Chris is going to give us a quick playthrough video. We'll see what he thinks afterwards. Okay, so Chris, thank you for the awesome playthrough video. What did you think of the SoftStep too?
First off, thanks for having me on Axe Hacks, dude. I mean,
Totally.
I would rather not be on any channel because this is about guitars here. Chris is obsessed. He's changing pickups. He's a bare neck McGee. Anyway, back onto this SoftStep 2. It was awesome. I thought that one of the neatest features, and you guys probably couldn't see it, but it was something I was trying to show you because when I was trying it out for the first time outside, I was amazed. It actually has a pressure-based expression. So the harder that you push on any of these very soft little rubber things,
Keys, I think.
yeah, they instantly start reacting to how hard you're pushing. And for your wah effect, the harder you push, the closer it felt like your toe was going down on the wah. Despite the fact that this was a completely new thing for me, within a couple of minutes, I already started getting the hang of it. And it's really nice because it frees you up from having a complete expression knob. The SoftStep can be programmed so you can set it up the way that you want for your live rig. The way that we currently had it set up was my main rigs for my performance mode were all across the top, so 1 through 5. And then I had the ability to inverse my effects. So if I wanted to take off all the effects that I had already switched on during the time, and they can just turn off, there's like an alternation. And then you had your wah right here in the center, and I was able to, again, pressure control my wah, which was really cool. That's put into the X slot over here. I am definitely looking forward to getting my Keith McMillen SoftStep 2. It is going to be my solution. It fits in the gig bag. It gives me the ability to turn my Kemper from a great studio tool and like home use practice item into like an all-encompassing live rig now that I can switch between my cleans, my dirties, and I can also, check my tuner and do all those sorts of things right from the pedal board without having to go back and push buttons on my, amp and worsen my live show because I'm not being as interactive with my crowd that as I want to be.
Cool, man. Well, thanks so much for being on. Next, I'm going to show you guys how to really customize the SoftStep 2 to make it work exactly how you want with your Kemper. Okay, so first thing we're going to want to do is go to keithmcmillan.com. Once we're here, go ahead and click on Products, go down to SoftStep, click on Downloads, and download the editors for either Mac or Windows, whichever you're using. Go ahead and grab the manual. Don't worry about Keyworks. Keyworks, I believe, was the older software for the SoftStep 1. Once you got those downloaded, we're going to come over here actually to Projects and scroll down until we see the Kemper, which is right here. And a quick little thing that I found out, I just did a Google search on the author for these patches, Burkhardt, and it turns out that this dude, in fact, works for Kemper. So kind of cool that we have official patches from the actual Kemper company. Go ahead and download the project files. And once we have these downloaded, what we're going to have are 4 presets. We're going to have presets for browse mode, performance mode, the effects, and the stomps. So once we have those, let's go ahead and open up the advanced editor. Just going to launch that from up here. Okay, I'm just going to pull this out onto the desktop. I can actually close out Safari now. Okay, so now I've got my advanced editor up. And I already have the performance mode, effects, and browser mode. It looks like I'm actually missing stomp, so I'll show you guys how to import that as an example. So we're going to go File, Import Preset. I put that on my desktop. I'm going to go into the Presets folder and make sure that I grab Stomps and open. Awesome. So now I have Kemper Stomps along with all of my other ones. So the way that you can look at the way that the advanced editor is laid out is basically these are all of the patches that you have available. If you want to have them loaded onto the Kemper, you would add them to your set list. So if we click on set list, we can see that right now I have mine pretty pared down. It's just Kemper Performance Mode effects, and one that I've been working on that I'll show you guys how to sort of manipulate later, that I've just titled Rev 1. Also, I would like to point out that right now we're in the hosted mode of the advanced editor. The advanced editor has two modes. It has hosted and standalone. Standalone is actually the more important one, because this is the mode that the SoftStep is going to be operating in when you're using it with the Kemper. Hosted is if you're going to have the SoftStep plugged into a computer to run something like Ableton or another MIDI triggered software program. So we're mainly going to be focusing on standalone. Right now, as you can see, there's a ton of presets in here. This is all the stuff that comes preloaded on the SoftStep for like a Line 6 pod or an 11 rack, all those different types of things. What we're going to be doing is looking at our set list, and we can see right now that we just have all the Kemper stuff in here. If I click on any one of these, I could add anything else that is in our other presets over here, but I want to keep it kind of clean and tidy, so I'm just going to leave those 5. So right now, the preset that's loaded that we can manipulate is toggles, which we don't want. So let's go ahead and go to one of the Kemper presets. Take, for example, performance mode. Now we can see that with performance mode up, we have slots 1 through 5, tap tempo, invert stomps, wah, and banks up and down. This was actually the preset that Chris was using in the demo video earlier. And I'm going to show you how to copy and paste different key presets from one patch to another, so you can sort of create your own custom setup for what you need. So with all the different patches that we downloaded that were programmed by Burkhardt at Kemper, it gives us a pretty good variety of different things that we can make the Kemper do. So let's say I wanted to take delay and add that to my custom patch that I've made. So with that selected, I can do Command C or come over here and do Edit Copy Key, and then move over to my custom patch. And let's say I want to use that instead of my D stomp effect. Now I can either do Command V or Edit Paste Key, and now that's going to put the delay patch right in there. Now I'm going to save it, and since we're in standalone mode, we have the option to send to SoftStep. So I'm going to go ahead and click that. And now that key number 4, is going to toggle my delay on the Kemper on and off. So you can see if we go through the different presets here that we downloaded earlier, it gives you a pretty good variety of different things that you can copy and paste. I'll let you guys kind of get a little more into that on your own, but one other thing that I wanted to cover is how to manipulate the settings for the nav pad in order to go up and down through your patches in performance mode. So I'm going to go back into mine right here and open this up, and maybe pause the video here and copy these, or I'll include a screenshot of this in the description of the video. But it works pretty well. I've been emailing KMI support over the last couple of days getting this figured out, and with these settings, what that enables the nav pad to do is when you toggle the north and south or y-axis keys, it'll let you scroll through your five slots the same as up here, but once you hit the end, it'll actually go up to your next bank, so that you can actually control all of your bank scrolling and everything with the nav pad, instead of having to lose the functionality of 2 keys to just the up and down function. So yeah, we got it working pretty well. So now, for the sake of simplicity, I'm just going to check my set list, and I can see that what I already have loaded onto my SoftStep are those 4 presets that we downloaded, as well as my custom preset. what I'm going to do is actually empty out all of these except for my custom preset. And now I'm going to hit send to SoftStep. And what that's going to do is it's going to take whatever is active in the set list and move that over to the SoftStep itself. So now you guys can't see it, but I'm hitting the left and right toggle on the nav pad, and the only thing that's showing up is custom. So now I have a pretty reliable setup for the SoftStep, a pretty bulletproof foot controller, and yeah, if you guys have any questions about the setup or using the advanced editor or anything, go ahead and leave those in the comments below. Okay, one last thing before I go. I had to do a quick comparison between the SoftStep 2 and what many would consider to be the reigning champion of foot controllers for the Kemper, being the Behringer FCB 1010. This thing is an absolute tank, both in weight and construction. This guy, I would say, is equally as durable, if not more so. The whole back, I don't know if you can see, the entire back panel is actually made of carbon fiber. Very similar construction to the rest of KMI's MIDI controllers. They actually have a video on their site where they drop a watermelon from a second-story window onto one, and it continues to work totally fine. This one, I am actually not sure if it would fare as well, and just the size comparison between these, despite how much thinner and lightweight the SoftStep is, it's absolutely featherweight in comparison. You still get a pretty similar spacing for the keys. Obviously, the SoftStep does not have the two expression pedals, but let me set this down. Oh, okay. The SoftStep does come with this. What this is, on the top of the SoftStep here, we have a little 3.5mm jack for an external expression pedal. This would probably go perfectly with one of the Kemper specific Mission expression pedals that they make. So I am going to try to get my hands on one of those, and if I'm able to grab one, I'll make a follow-up video to this, let you know how it ties in with the SoftStep. But for now, again, my name is Chris. This has been Axe Hacks. If you found the information useful, go ahead and click subscribe. I will see you next time.